Hey, tea sippers. Hey, 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 hey. Ooh, baby, if it ain't one thing, it's another. I was planning to talk about one thing and got hit with a whole different situation. Trump, 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 Trump. Hey, Max, thank you. Thank you, thank you, sweet precious. Thank you. Thank you, Max. Oh, my God. I mean, I am just so sick of these political people, politicians, everybody just playing in our face. Let me get you the sideways look like, really? So y'all just gonna continue to play in our face. Is that what we doing? Really? Really? 59. So they done moved her. So they saying, okay, whatever Diddy thought he was doing, he thought he was gonna play on their face. He thought he was gonna bribe him. He thought he was gonna tell Trump that, dude, you own some of them tapes, huh? Huh? Yeah. Okay. No. No. It's a no for you. So I'm going to send my replacement. Thanks, Max. Okay, hold on. I was trying to type and talk and just realized I didn't send my thank you, Max, to the boogie. To the boogie woogie woogie. Yeah, right there. So listen, Diddy thought, this is what I thought we was gonna talk about, how Trump put them people in his business, put them people in his life, changed the script and the program on him by assigning a replacement for Maureen Comey. Yeah, who went in there way more harsh than old Miss Comey. He went in there and laid it on thick on his ass, and baby gave a strong recommendation that blew the wig up off of Diddy. But in the meantime, before I could splurge and talk and laugh on that, baby, they played in our face again. So, you know, you got to keep what they say, keep your head on swivel. You got to keep your head on swivel with Trump, baby, because if not, AunTeaFee, you're not going to wait for the people to come in. It's too late in the game. Baby, ain't nobody got time to be waiting because we got breaking news. I was over here, listen, what it said 20-some minutes ago on my other phone device. If I hit refresh, it's probably going to say 2 hours. 26 minutes ago, this is what I was looking at while I was trying to make me something to eat. Talk to Scooter as he go back off to college, trying to do a whole bunch of things at once. Look, 23 minutes. And if I hit refresh, it's probably going to say 2 hours, baby, because I was trying to find this picture right here. Come on. Clear up. Get centered. Right here with this blonde ass wig on with Trump. Because that was a picture I hadn't seen before. So I was trying to find these people to see if it was really true what they were saying, that she had just been moved to Texas. Huh? Hey, Samantha. So I was like, say what? I know y'all lying. That's what I was saying to myself. I know you lying. They ain't lying. I was trying to find it. Now it says an hour ago. I'm telling you, I was just sitting there waiting, pondering. Now say an hour ago. Yeah. Because it's like, say, well, I know you lying. So he stuck it to Diddy and moved her on the cool. Huh? And you moved her to Texas? Y'all, that's breaking news. They done moved her to Texas. Why y'all move her? I knew someone right. I'm telling y'all, when she was going back into that prison and they took her handcuffs off of her, let her grab her own bag. They was, you know, she went in shackles. I got the shackles on my feet so I can, you know. And then they was letting her in all free willy-nilly. And I said, something ain't right. That ain't what I had. Something ain't right with that. Something ain't right with that. And then today, they said she done been moved to a minimum. Not medium security. Minimum. Why? Because she gave up 100 names. I know it got to be more than that. I can't even find what I had up there before. I switched it. What I have up there? I'm trying to give y'all some eyes like, I ain't buying that. We're going to stick here. So breaking news. What did I have up here before this? Before. I want to give you some eyes like I ain't buying that shit. I just ain't buying it. Y'all playing in our face. Y'all playing in our face. Hey, Dwayne, they playing in our face. Hey, Mark, I want to give y'all some eye contact. Like, yeah. Like you look at a dude, you know he done messed up and he just going on all free willy-nilly like it ain't nothing wrong. And you looking at him like, for real. So let's listen to this because they done moved her. Hell, she already in Bryan, Texas.
CNN has learned that Jeffrey Epstein's convicted accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, has been moved to a new prison. Maxwell has been serving a 20-year prison sentence in Florida. She's now headed to a minimum security prison in Texas.
CNN's Caitlin Polance joins us now. So, Caitlin, talk to us about this new prison
She was moved to what? Hold on.
Why is going to be the question. CNN has learned that Jeffrey Epstein's convicted accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, has been moved to a new prison. Maxwell has been serving a 20-year prison sentence in Florida. She's now headed to a minimum security prison in Texas.
CNN's Caitlin Polance joins us now. So, Caitlin, talk to us about this new prison that she's going to and why she's being moved.
Well, why is going to be the question here definitely today.
Why?
We do know from the Bureau of Prisons, they have confirmed through a spokesperson that Ghislaine Maxwell was moved from a federal prison camp in Tallahassee, Florida, to a low-security prison in Bryan.
Polance joins us now.
She's moved from a what?
This new prison that she's going to and why she's being moved.
Well, why is going to be the question here definitely today. But we do know from the Bureau of Prisons, they have confirmed through a spokesperson that Ghislaine Maxwell was moved from a federal prison camp in Tallahassee, Florida, to a low-security prison in Bryan, Texas. So that's northeast of Austin. The difference there, it doesn't sound that much different, minimum security, low security, but it actually is pretty different. A camp where she was before, people move about freely, there are nonviolent offenders, or I'm sorry, where she was before, there are very likely to be violent offenders, gang members, the risk is higher. And where she is now, that would be white-collar offenders, people who would not be considered to have as much risk as they would have had at places like where she was in Florida. 2 people at the prison that she is now in Bryan, Texas. 2 women, you may have heard of them before, Elizabeth Holmes from the company, a camp where she was before. People move about freely, there are nonviolent offenders, or I'm sorry, where she was before, there are very likely to be violent offenders, gang members, the risk is higher. And where she is
She
now,
can't handle no gang. She was in a cult.
Camp in Tallahassee, Florida, to a low security prison in Bryan, Texas. So that's northeast of Austin. The difference there, it doesn't sound that much different, minimum security, low security, but it actually is pretty different. A camp where she was before, people move about freely, there are nonviolent offenders, or I'm sorry, where she was before, there are very likely to be violent offenders, gang members, the risk is higher. And where she is now, that would be white-collar offenders, people who would not be considered to have as much risk as they would have had at places like where she was in Florida. 2 people at the prison that she is now in Bryan, Texas. 2 women, you may have heard of them before, Elizabeth Holmes from the company Theranos, and then Jen Shaw from the TV show The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
So
Those
actress.
types of women, nonviolent, white-collar offenders, where Ghislaine Maxwell is now. But you asked why. The Justice Department, the Bureau of Prisons, is not telling us the reason for this move. But I did speak to a prison consultant just a few minutes ago who was saying that from her perspective, this is quite good. It would be something that she would want.
From Maxwell's perspective.
From
Maxwell's perspective.
It's more comfortable at the camp. Or
She in
at
paradise.
in Texas, the camp. But from the Justice Department's perspective, she was speaking to the Deputy Attorney General just a couple weeks ago. That signals she may be a cooperator, and that puts her at a higher risk when there are people around her who may be potentially more violent as the inmates. So it may be...
She ain't gave up nothing for nobody to want to get at her. Hell, whether she's a snitch or not. If she's... Come on now. She ain't snitching on no people in the streets. She ain't snitching like that. Yeah. Come on now. She ain't nobody finna get her for talking to the feds about harming kids. Did the people where she was not know that she was convicted of messing with kids and trafficking kids? Yeah. I want her to snitch on Trump. Yeah, but if she ain't giving up nothing... They moved her to another Camp Cupcake. She said she didn't feel like her life was in danger. She felt comfortable. So now, I guess she gonna run with her life was in danger. From who? You like women. Cause you was turning them little girls out. So who was coming to get you? Trump, baby. Oh, okay.
Really interesting. Caitlin, thank you so much for that. Let's bring in David.
Saying that from her perspective, violent white-collar offenders, where Ghislaine Maxwell is now. But you asked why. The Justice Department, the
You're right,
is
Charlene.
not telling us the reason for this move. But I did speak to a prison consultant just a few minutes ago who was saying that from her perspective, this is quite good. It would be something that she would want.
Better conditions.
From Maxwell's perspective, it's more comfortable at the camp, or at where she is in Texas, the camp. But from the Justice Department's perspective,
But let's be clear. Hold on. Now, don't get it twisted. Texas will tag that ASS. Texas will tag to that. No, now I know she was asking for better conditions. She was asking to be released. She was asking, what else was she asking for? So they gave her better living conditions. She gave them 100 names, but what names did she give? ain't none of them people important enough for us. I wanted to hear her give up Trump, and I wanted to hear her give up Diddy. I want to hear her give up Weinstein. I want to got Bill Clinton, a child. Hey, Lisa. So who, and don't be lying. So now there's a possibility that who she may be giving up may be a lie. Yeah. Cause who she done gave up? They say she was willing to go on the stand. And something else I saw. Yeah, something else I saw over here. Hold that thought. That Smash the Topic put out. Let me get to Smash. Shout out to Smash. That the Department of Justice had something new that they was doing. Back page. It says the DOJ established compensation fund for victims of Backpage X trafficking. The U.S. Department of Justice has launched a compensation program for survivors of X trafficking, exploited through the dysfunction. I don't know what he's trying to say. Let me let y'all read it. The defunct website Backpage. This institution allows victims or their legal representatives to apply for financial compensation from over 200 million in seized access derived from Backpage illicit activities. Now, I just saw this today. Eligible individuals must have experienced X trafficking facilitated by ads on Backpage from January 1st, 2004 through April 6, 2018 to demonstrate financial losses related to their trafficking. Applicants can be admitted online. Applications can be admitted online or by mail by February 2026 with no fees involved. So that popped out today. Now we hearing this, and then we hearing that Trump sent his hound dog, guard dog, watchdog that replaced Comey to go over the files and cases, and he got shot all the way down. And where Comey was looking midway through, they say he asked for stiffer penalties. We gonna listen to that. So I was waiting to see Diddy name come up with in them files, talking with Maxwell. But instead, they moved her ass to Texas.
The Attorney General just a couple weeks ago, that signals she may be a cooperator. This is quite good. It would be something that she would want.
From Maxwell's perspective.
From Maxwell's perspective, it's more comfortable at the camp, or at where she is in Texas, the camp. But from the Justice Department's perspective, she was speaking to the Deputy Attorney General just a couple weeks ago. That signals she may be a cooperator, and that puts her at a higher risk when there are people around her who may be potentially more violent as the inmates. So it may be one of the security decisions, but there also could be the
Hey, T-Sippers, y'all come in. Please hitting the like button. There's 252 people in here, and y'all not hitting the like button. Double tap your screen. Just on the face of your phone, double tap it. Double tap your screen. Get the likes up. If you don't have that, then you should have 3 little dots at the top on your laptop or computer. Hit them 3 or 4 little dots. There's 3 of them on mine. And hit the like button, the thumbs up.
Kaylin, thank you so much for that. Let's bring in Dave Ehrenberg. He's a former state attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida. He's also known Attorney General Pam Bondi for many years and
Hey,
worked as a
Travis.
drug czar in the Florida Attorney General's office. All right, Dave, so according to our Caitlin Polance's reporting, this is a nicer prison, fewer violent offenders, more white-collar criminals. What are the possible reasons for why Maxwell would have been moved here?
It takes 90 seconds for this NASA-engineered AC cool down your room. It's smaller than a toaster.
For why Maxwell would have been moved here?
Brianna, good to be with you. Well, it comes closely after Todd Blanche, the #2 person at the Department of Justice, met with her in private, spent hours with her getting her testimony and
2 days
about the whole Epstein scandal. And now we see her moved to a minimum security facility. Apparently, this is the same facility where Elizabeth Holmes is in Texas. It's a much better facility. She was taken out of Tallahassee at a low security facility and put into one which has a lower staff to inmate ratio. These are like dorms rather than cells. There's no perimeter fencing, so it's much better. Now, is it because of what she said to Todd
so she
Blanche?
can run away.
Because during the many hours that her attorney and Ghislaine Maxwell spent with the head of the Department of Justice, #2 person there, that they convinced him to get her moved, because the decision on moving a prisoner is up to the Bureau of Prisons. And who does the Bureau of Prisons report to?
Donald
the Department
Trump.
of Justice.
Okay, so, you know, could it also be, I mean, if she's seen as someone who is cooperating, I mean, is she at risk there? And what kind of happens behind the scenes to negotiate something like this?
Well, this is a benefit, clearly. And it's something that the attorney for Ghislaine Maxwell would have mentioned to Todd Blanche. Said, hey, we've been spending 9 hours together. You can see she's testifying in good faith, honestly and openly. Can you at least send her to a better facility? I can see that conversation happening. And by the way, it happens that inmates are transferred among facilities. It's nothing illegal or necessarily unethical, but the timing, of course, does raise eyebrows because it happens right after. And President Trump is saying that he's not dangling a pardon. He doesn't want to have that conversation. But this is part of the discussions, perhaps, that Ghislaine Maxwell looks like she did give the administration what they wanted, and as a result, she was moved to a better facility.
Yeah, that like kind of what
Wow.
the difference is there. I also wanted to ask you,
Playing in our
you're a
face.
good person to ask this of. There's so much focus on the Epstein files, and the original Epstein files were in Palm Beach, where you were state attorney after the criminal case against Epstein was closed. But as you know, Epstein had, pulled his cameras, his hard drives before police searched his house. Authorities, I believe, never subpoenaed that. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you have victims, lawyers, and even journalists who have covered this case who have questioned whether some of the state files, like the original files, may have actually been missing a lot of things and a lot of documents. Do you think that's the case?
It's hard to say, Brianna. There was an effort to get the grand jury transcripts at the state level, and the legislature had...
And remember, hold on, they had a meeting last night, a closed meeting with the judge, real kind of hush hush. Now we know what it was about. Moving them. Y'all, please double tap the screen, hit the like button. I'm not begging for no cash out super stickers, but you gonna hit the like button or you need to leave quickly. Just like that. AunTeaFee, you not? No, I ain't going nowhere till I see these lights go up. Don't come in not hitting the like button. You can go everywhere you want to go. Don't mean you're going to get the truth. And that don't mean you don't go get research. So you can go wherever you want to and hear a whole bunch of people give a whole bunch of narratives. But if you coming over here to get the real tea with the research, you're going to hit the like button or go ahead and just exit. I don't need 200, almost 300 people in here and y'all can't hit the like button. Are you crazy? No. No. Oh, I could talk. We can talk about something else, child, please. We was all into the cult last night. I might as well go on and talk about something y'all ain't trying to hear, or y'all gonna get the likes up. It's just that simple. Gloves off. Let's see. Oh, he gonna have a rough day today. Double tap his nose. Just go on your phone. Just double tap it. Double tap it. I ain't never seen nothing like it. People come over in people's house and don't want to hit the like button. Don't want to tap. Don't want to do nothing. So, what is this? He said, Maureen Giselle, reply due by August the 4th. What reply?
Here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press. Here. It's Friday, August 1st, 2025. Here. Things are a lot cooler. Particularly based on many of them on the Ghislaine Maxwell case, Jeffrey Epstein files, spin-off. Judge Engelmeyer has asked for more victims. This is the unsealing of the grand jury transcript. But Judge Engelmeyer, as in his wand, has zeroed in on the fact that maybe they don't just want the transcript, they want the exhibit. They want a slew of other things. So he's asked by August 4th, which will be Monday, for DOJ to describe what else they want beyond the transcript and compare them with things that have been made public in other cases.
Beyond the transcripts. Thank you, Janet. Some predicted what?
Now, the Roman storm has been our main case for the last couple of weeks. Yesterday, the jury began deliberating, and it seemed for a time.
So now we see that.
You know, pulled his cameras, his hard drives before police searched his house. Authorities, I believe, never subpoenaed that. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you have victims, lawyers, and even journalists who have covered this case who have questioned whether some of the state files, like the original files, may have actually been missing a lot of things and a lot of documents. Do you think that's the case?
I got a Mazzaro knife, and what followed was an absolute fiasco. Here's what really pisses me off.
The case?
It's hard to say, Brianna. There was an effort to get the grand jury transcripts at the state level, and the legislature had to change the law to release the grand jury transcripts. Now
Has to change the law.
But that wasn't anything huge because we already knew most of the stuff there. So now the focus is on the Epstein files, which the Department of Justice has collected, and they
already had it.
DC. To your question, did the stuff from the state files get up to the files in DC? Probably. I am not aware of anything that has been missing. The thing that I am most interested in is that when the feds went into Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan mansion, they had to use an axe to break into his safe. And when they broke into his safe, they found thumb drives. What's on those thumb drives? We don't know.
They had
So
to
that's all
use
part
an
of the files.
axe.
So that's another reason why people want to see that. But that wasn't anything huge because
A lot of documents. Do you think that's the case?
it's hard to say, Brianna. There was an effort to get the grand jury transcripts at the state level, and the legislature had to change the law to release the grand jury transcripts. So now we see that. But that wasn't anything huge because we already knew most of the stuff there. So now the focus is on the Epstein files, which the Department of Justice has collected, and they have it in their possession in Washington, D.C. To your question, did the stuff from the state files get up to the files in D.C.? Probably. I am not aware of anything that has been missing. The thing that I am most interested in is that when the feds went into Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan mansion, they had to use an axe to break into his safe. And when they broke into his safe, they found thumb drives. What's on those thumb drives? We don't know. So that's all part of the files. So that's another reason why people want to see this. It's more than just the grand jury transcripts at the federal level.
We
That's
didn't
only
ask for
a
that.
portion of what people are looking for. They're looking for the files.
Yeah, and I wonder if you think this grand jury stuff is a bit of a distraction, considering looking at, you know, the grand jury stuff in Florida. It was even thought by investigators that wasn't, I guess, fulsomely pursued by prosecutors as it should have been. Maybe not as informative as some people would want it to be. Do you think that that's a distraction, this grand jury stuff?
Well, I do think that even if they get the grand jury materials at the federal level, it will only be a small portion of what the public is demanding. I think the Attorney General was right to say there is no client list because there is no client list, and to say that Jeffrey
That is not
killed
true.
himself because he did kill himself. But as far as
That
what's
ain't
in
what
the
his
files,
family
it's gonna be
think.
a lot more than what's in the grand jury transcripts, especially now that we're hearing that only 1 or 2 witnesses testified before that grand jury, and it was law enforcement. So if you want to know what third parties were involved in the sex trafficking ring, you're not going to get it from the grand jury transcripts. And that's why there's still that clamoring to get those files, which may never be released.
Dave Ehrenberg, thanks so much for being with us.
Wow.
Thanks for having me.
Wow. Hold on, y'all.
CNN has learned
Oh,
that
wow.
Jeffrey Epstein's convicted accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell,
Convicted sex trafficker and Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell has been moved from her federal minimum security prison in Florida to a federal prison camp in Texas, holding other famous prisoners like Elizabeth Holmes and former Real Housewife Jen Shaw. It comes as President Trump has said that he had no idea that the reason why allegedly Epstein was going to steal underage employee Virginia Giuffre from his Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach.
Can y'all still hear?
Convicted sex trafficker and Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell has been moved from her federal minimum security prison in Florida to a federal prison camp in Texas, holding other famous prisoners like Elizabeth Holmes and former Real Housewife Jen Shaw. It comes as President Trump has said that he had no idea that the reason why allegedly Epstein was going to steal underage employee Virginia Giuffre from his Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach back in 2000.
No, I don't know really why, but I said if he's taking anybody from Mar-a-Lago, he's hiring or whatever he's doing. I didn't like it, and we threw him out. We said we don't want him, at the place.
Washington Bureau Managing Editor Catherine Valders joins me for more on this. And Catherine, first off, why was Maxwell moved?
It's a good question, Alex. And the Bureau of Prisons, of course, who oversees this, is not answering the reasoning or not giving a reason for exactly why she was moved, other than confirming that Maxwell was moved from Tallahassee, Florida, to a facility in Texas. Now, typically, again, we don't know from the Bureau of Prisons or anything on the record about this, the reasoning, but typically it could be done, for example, for security reasons. That usually would be the reason. So it's not totally unusual if that's the case, but the significance of this is that, of course, it comes right after, frankly, just a little bit over a week after Maxwell met behind closed doors with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. We know that they met over the course of 2 days out of public view. We still don't know what happened in that meeting. What we do know, though, is that Maxwell wants to get out of prison. She is appealing her conviction up to the Supreme Court, and her lawyer indicated following those 2 days of meetings that he was frankly glad to hear the president's comments where the president didn't rule out a pardon for Maxwell.
Well, and Catherine, as we heard, Trump's now saying that Epstein taking Giuffre and other employees led to the end of their relationship. Does that match with what we know about their relationship?
It's unclear. There's been a number of explanations over the years for the end of their relationship. We know, at least behind the scenes, that this is something that Trump has said before. There's also been reporting about a falling out over a real estate deal, for example, and that led to the end of their friendship. But what we do know, and what has remained consistent here in the timeline of the Trump-Epstein friendship and relationship, is that Trump did say in 2019 that he had not spoken to Epstein for 15 years. There's nothing to indicate that they had any relationship that would make that timeline inaccurate. So we do know that, but it still does leave, at least Trump's recent comments, a lot of unanswered questions about what Trump knew when, of course, filling in some of the gaps from their friendship. Trump has said he's known Epstein since the 1980s. But what was important about Rachel Scott's exchange in the Roosevelt Room yesterday with the president was she asked specifically, did Trump know at the time that Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's associate, was allegedly recruiting women, Virginia Giuffre, from his Mar-a-Lago resort? Did he know the reason why at the time? Trump claims that he didn't know the reason why at the time.
Bull crap.
The question that the family, Giuffre's family, raised as well.
Well, and Catherine, Giuffre's family spoke with Prime anchor Lindsay Davis last night about Trump's recent comments about their sister. Take a listen to this.
I think it came as a very big shock to the family. You know, we're still reeling from the very real loss of her, and kind of the way that it was thrown out, and the words of being stolen as if she was an object. That's really painful to hear as a family who just is experiencing a really devastating time. And none of the victims are objects to be taken or stolen.
Right.
Catherine, I mean, do you think a push
Bad choice of words.
More transparency here?
I'm not sure whether or not it will. I am sure that the White House has seen those comments from the family, of course, in the wake of the president's comments about Virginia Giuffre. So it's possible that it could. Now, the Department of Justice has said that they will share more information, for example, about Maxwell's interview at the appropriate time. They still haven't done that. I know the family, for example, would like to see more of these files released that the FBI and DOJ has said that they won't do, that they won't release them anymore to protect victims' identities. So it's possible that it could lead to more transparency, but so far we haven't heard anything out of the White House that the family speaking out is having any effect on this administration.
Why is it so?
Don't wear these perfumes if you don't like compliments.
This is why, even with Diddy, I was going hard for the victims. The victims get lost in the sauce with all this political stuff, all the cover up. They get lost in the sauce, trying to protect their cult. They triple X trafficking cult. Yeah.
Folks, the cover-up regarding Ghislaine Maxwell gets deeper. The Trump regime's Bureau of Prisons just moved Ghislaine Maxwell from her prison cell in Tallahassee, Florida, to a minimum security prison in southeast Texas at a location called the Prison Camp Bryan in Southeast Texas, which is known
Bryan,
for being
Texas.
minimum security, a highly sought after location if you're in prison. And I don't even believe that Ghislaine Maxwell was allowed to be transferred based upon her status as a convicted sex trafficker to even be able to go into this prison Camp Bryan in Texas, which is a minimum security facility. It's almost like a summer camp. It's exactly where you want to be, but it's
Summer
more
camp.
for white collar crimes and things like that. This is obviously part of the deal that the Trump regime cut with Ghislaine Maxwell. We know last week they gave Ghislaine Maxwell something called Queen for the Day immunity, or use immunity, sometimes referred to as proffer immunity. You will recall that the Trump regime, Donald Trump, sent his number 2 at the DOJ, a guy by the name of Todd Blanche, who used to be Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyer in the case where Donald Trump was convicted on 34 felony counts. Todd Blanche met with Ghislaine Maxwell for 2 days for about 10 hours. They granted Ghislaine Maxwell immunity from her statements, meaning she can't be prosecuted for anything that she said at that meeting with Todd Blanche. Now, in addition, Ghislaine Maxwell has been angling for a pardon or a commutation of her sentence. And many people believe that Donald Trump is preparing to give her a pardon or commutation, essentially if she lists the names of other people other than Donald Trump and tries to distract from Trump's involvement with Epstein. In other words, help Donald Trump with the cover-up, wink, wink, of his involvement, and maybe you'll get a pardon or a commutation. Well, they've already given her immunity, which I predicted they were going to. Go back months, I was predicting this. Go back years, I was predicting this. That's step one. They've now transferred her. I mean, think about it. She's outmaneuvering Donald Trump at every step of the way. They've now transferred her from the Tallahassee prison where she was complaining about those conditions, and they put her in the most idyllic place, a convicted sex trafficker. The worst sex trafficker like in the history is now being treated this way by the Trump regime, you know, who's making deals with her. They're treating Ghislaine Maxwell better than they treat Canada and the Prime Minister of Canada and the Canadian people. Like, let's be clear about that. Donald Trump sent the Department of Justice quicker to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell than Donald Trump sent the government and FEMA to go and help the people of Texas during the flash floods. I don't even think Donald Trump has sent people to help some of the people in this country in other areas as well. But what would you expect? I mean, Donald Trump is a sexual predator. Donald Trump has been found liable for sexual assault. Donald Trump is a felon when it comes to financial fraud. And in the business records case, Donald Trump is a bankrupter. And by the way, Donald Trump knew Ghislaine for decades and decades and decades. She was the link originally between
let him repeat that for the ones in the
deals
back.
with her. They're treating Ghislaine Maxwell better than they treat Canada and the Prime Minister of Canada and the Canadian people. Like, let's be clear about that. Donald Trump sent the Department of Justice quicker to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell than Donald Trump sent the government and FEMA to go and help the people of Texas during the flash floods. I don't even think Donald Trump has sent people to help some of the people in this country in other areas as well. But what would you expect? I mean, Donald Trump is a sexual predator. Donald Trump has been found liable for sexual assault. Donald Trump is a felon when it comes to financial fraud. And in the business records case, Donald Trump is a bankrupter. And by the way, Donald Trump knew Ghislaine for decades and decades and decades. She was the link originally between Epstein and Donald Trump and introduced them. She would introduce young girls to Donald Trump. I mean, that was written about in the Sunday Mirror in 1997. So we know all about that. So now she gets this deal as a sex trafficking person, as someone who was convicted of that, to go into this camp. Elizabeth Holmes is there, Jennifer Shaw is there. You know, it's a place like that. And what have we also learned as well? We learned that the FBI has redacted, has removed Donald Trump's names from the Epstein files. So, you know how Donald Trump and the regime appointed 1,000 FBI agents and DOJ lawyers to go through the Epstein files? It was never to release it. It was to get rid of Trump's name. And now we know that one of the whistleblowers who who called the Trump regime out, was told, if you don't resign immediately, we're going to fire you. A guy by the name of Michael Seidel, who worked at the records department at the FBI, said, why are we redacting Trump's name? And then they said, he was one of the leaders. You're fired or resign now. You pick. And he chose to resign. A massive cover-up in plain view is in the way, as Donald Trump earlier in the week on Air Force One said that, yeah, he was aware that Epstein stole little girls from Mar-a-Lago. Donald Trump said, yeah, he stole them. He stole my help. And then the reporters were like, the little girls that he sex trafficked? Like Virginia Giuffre, you're saying he stole them from you? And Donald Trump's like, yeah, he's like I think she worked at the spa. It was the best spa in the United States of America. Anyway, I'll get to that in a moment. Back to the FBI redactions. They removed Donald Trump's name from the Epstein files. We know back in May, Donald Trump's name was flagged for him, that you're all over the Epstein files.
Hit the like button. Double tap your screen. Just like that. Double tap it. They are really playing in our face. And these were kids. Thank you, Janet. Thank you for the membership. Y'all better thank Janet. I was in a whole another room. Let's go. Thank you,
Donald
Janet.
Trump, earlier in the week on Air Force One, said that, yeah, he was aware that Epstein stole little girls from Mar-a-Lago.
And he never reported
At
it.
the records department at the FBI. Said, why are we redacting Trump's name? And then they said, he was one of the leaders. You're fired or resign now. You pick it. He chose to resign. A massive cover-up in plain view is in the way, as Donald Trump earlier in the week on Air Force One said that, yeah, he was aware that Epstein stole little girls from Mar-a-Lago. Donald Trump said, yeah, he stole them. He stole my help. And then the reporters were like, the little girls that he sex trafficked? Like Virginia Giuffre, you're saying he stole them from you? And Donald Trump's like, yeah, he's like I think she worked at the spa. It was the best spa in the United States of America. Anyway, I'll get to that in a moment. Back to the FBI redactions.
Wow.
They removed Donald Trump's name from the Epstein files. We know back in May, Donald Trump's name was flagged for him, that you're all over the Epstein files, which we knew because the files that were released, Donald Trump's name is all over. And now Trump is saying it's all a hoax. He fired the Epstein prosecutor, Maureen Comey, and blamed her dad for inventing what Trump's called the Epstein hoax. So Maureen Comey has been fired. And then Trump sent his criminal defense lawyer to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell and to give her immunity. And now Ghislaine Maxwell's like, well, why would I talk to Congress unless Congress gives me immunity, unless Congress meets my demands? And she's making demands from Congress. And Congress is like, we ain't giving you immunity. What the hell are you talking about? Now, I want you to add this all up. They give her immunity.
Right.
They move her to an ideal prison, minimum security, which as a sex trafficker, she should not be going to at all.
Absolutely not.
That's not what minimum security prisons are
Plus
for.
perjury.
They remove Donald Trump's names from the files, okay? And a new CBS News investigation sheds light even more from the Wired report. Remember how Wired looked at all of the Epstein surveillance footage that released? And there was actually 2 minutes and 30 seconds that were manipulated? Well, a CBS forensic analysis and audit of the Epstein surveillance footage actually shows far more manipulation than even Wired reported. And by the way, if you look at the video and you watch the whole thing.
And last night, y'all, we saw somebody in orange walked up them steps. We saw somebody in orange walk up them steps. And I had to end it because I wasn't getting the likes. But I was able to see somebody walked down them steps. They did not want us to see that.
At one point, you can see a little mouse appear, not like an actual animal mouse, like a mouse to a computer, because it wasn't actually the footage. It was somebody recording a screen to begin with on a computer. But now a CBS News analysis of the video shows that it actually doesn't even provide the view of Epstein's cell block.
Hey, it's Tish James. And guess what? Donald Trump is mentioning me by name.
So all that time we thought
that
the video was facing Epstein's room. That wasn't even his cell.
You weren't even looking. That wasn't even Epstein's cell block in the video. Was manipulated.
So it was not.
Analysis
they
of
done
the video
played in our face.
Shows that it actually doesn't even provide the view of Epstein's cell block. You weren't even looking. That wasn't even Epstein's cell block in the video that was manipulated. Now, that actually makes sense if you go back to our prior reporting and what was reported contemporaneously, that the videos, surveillance footage of Epstein's cell block was destroyed and deleted. Right? That's what we learned during the first Trump regime. So what was this surveillance even of? And it doesn't even appear to be showing the right angle of the cell block. It goes on to talk about how the CBS digitally reconstructed the special housing unit where Epstein was held using diagrams and descriptions from the 2023 report. And the CBS News review found the video does little to provide evidence to support the claims that were later made by federal officials. Additionally, CBS News identified multiple inconsistencies between the report and video that raised serious questions about the accuracy of witness statements and thoroughness of the government's investigation. Okay, let's hear from the victim's lawyer right now. Here he is, Spencer Kuven. Gotta say, let's play this clip right here. Let's play it.
She's an evil person. At its core, there's nothing other than just evil in this woman. She is the one that was actively out recruiting young girls to bring them to Epstein. And I've said this before, but without Ghislaine Maxwell, there would have been no Jeffrey Epstein. You know, you have an elderly or older gentleman, white hair. He's not going to convince young 14 and 15-year-old girls to come to his home for doing what he did. But if you have an educated, well-dressed, you know, English accented woman approaching these young girls and promising them that they could be models and they're beautiful, their guard is down. So, you know, she is more guilty, if not just as certainly guilty as Epstein. So the idea of giving her any kind of immunity at all is just repugnant to the victims.
And here he is again. Let's play this clip right here as he talks more about Donald Trump, talking about Virginia Giuffre and these little girls being stolen from Mar-a-Lago and then they were sex trafficked. Here, play this clip.
President say that, Spencer. What questions does that bring up for you?
Well, I can tell you one thing. First of all, in cross-examining people for 30 years, okay, I can tell you that he didn't want to answer that question. Notice that when he's first asked about it, he says, I don't know. And then he realizes his brain starts working and thinking through it, thinking, they're going to be able to figure this out, and I don't want to look stupid, so I better tell them. And then he amends his answer. That happens when someone's trying to hide the truth. That happens when I cross-examine people, and you just have to keep pushing like that reporter did. We know that, and she was one of the ones that Epstein used in his scheme, that he traded her to various different high-profile individuals around the world. That has never been publicly admitted before. And she had to fight during her litigation because they were claiming that she was lying about all of that. We now know from the words of the president himself that Virginia was right all along and that she was trafficked out of Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, the late Virginia Giuffre, who died by suicide, we should mention, as a number of victims of Jeffrey Epstein have. Spencer Kuven, thank you so much for speaking with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on, as usual.
Here's Virginia Giuffre's brother. Virginia Giuffre recently died by suicide. She worked as an underage girl for Donald Trump in the spa. She was a towel girl. She was homeless, got a job around 16 years old. Epstein showed up, took her from Mar-a-Lago, went to Mar-a-Lago and saw her there actually and said, hey, oh, I see you're working with Donald. I'm his friend. You want to work with me too? And then sex trafficked her. Here's what Virginia Giuffre's brother says. Here, play this clip.
Oh, wow.
She wasn't stolen.
Was homeless, got a job around 16.
Thank you for having me on, as usual.
Here's Virginia Giuffre's brother. Virginia Giuffre recently died by suicide. She worked as an underage girl for Donald Trump in the spa. She was a towel girl. She was homeless, got a job around 16 years old. Epstein showed up, took her from Mar-a-Lago, went to Mar-a-Lago and saw her there actually and said, hey, oh, I see you're working with Donald. I'm his friend. You want to work with me too? And then sex trafficked her. Here's what Virginia Giuffre's brother says. Here, play this clip.
This is so sad.
She wasn't stolen. She was preyed upon at his property, at President Trump's property. And I think it's very important that we don't treat it like stolen. Seems very impersonal. It feels very much like an object, and these survivors are not objects. Women are objects. What goes through my mind is that it's time to protect survivors, and it's time to protect the young women and our future generation of young women. So no, she wasn't stolen. She was preyed upon, and it certainly makes you kind of ask the question, you know, how much he knew during that time, right? Even a couple of years later, even after he, I believe he had stated something along the lines of cutting off communication or kicking him out. He described Jeffrey Epstein as somebody who really enjoyed being around young women. And so she was preyed upon. She wasn't stolen.
That's a predator that came and took her and did absolutely horrible things to her and so many other women out there.
Oh, and by the way, yesterday Donald Trump announced an initiative for children involving sports and fitness. And guess who he has leading it? Oh, yes, if you guessed Lawrence Taylor, a rapist, someone who raped a 16-year-old girl and pled guilty, yes, that is who Donald Trump has leading the initiative. Donald Trump picked a literal sexual predator, someone who pled guilty sexually assaulting a 16-year-old girl, Lawrence Taylor, former athlete, to now be in charge of the kids. Just so you all remember, here's what Donald Trump said on the plane about Virginia Giuffre and Epstein stealing Trump's property, because Trump considers these little girls to be his property. Here, play this clip.
This is crazy.
Epstein has a certain reputation about his street. Just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women? Were some of them young women? Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there, and the answer is yes, they were. Yes, they were. Yeah. What did they do? In the spa. The spa. Yeah, people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago, and people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, God. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told them, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want them taking people. And he was fine, and then not too long after that, he did it again, and I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa.
I think she worked at the spa.
I think that was one of the people. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know.
She was a minor.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
She was a minor. Hold on, y'all. Yep, again, y'all. Shout out to Janet for getting a membership. I'm gonna love seeing that star by your name. Thank you. Welcome. We appreciate you. Let me see what else I got. I already pinned. Oh, it's over here. Taking a look at the spa. The new, I was finna say spa, but the new camp cupcake.
Free gold Trump survivor coin.
Oh, whatever. Oh my God. His people are paying for a lot of ads to be ran on certain, well, I can't say on certain people, but under certain topics in the algorithm. Because all of a sudden, now we're hearing these protesters, hey, Trump, you couldn't do that. Oh my God, get off his little bitty pecan size. Stop. Okay, let me stop. Let's take a look at the camp cupcake. You can hear the birds chirping. It's sounding all quiet. Bryan, Texas. Bryan College Station. He about finna lose Texas. Texas about to go blue. Now they just had a flood. You ain't sent no aid, no none of that. But you sent a convicted child predator. They walking freely. Look at it. All manicured, all nice. Ain't nobody out there working. So taxpayers out there just paying for her crimes. So this is a protecting that cult, the predators cult. That's what Trump in office doing. He protecting everybody who's a part of that list, the ones he know. Yeah, he keeping it active. Who didn't give him up. Didn't talk about him. He on revenge. He don't care nothing about the victims. Nothing. This where she at. No cage, a dorm. She in college. Like setup. Wow. So let's get to the other half of this. Yeah, who did not have a good day today. Let's get to who got the losing end of the deal. The one who thought he was on top. Who he done fired. Yeah, hold on before we get there.
We shared this breaking news with you just a short amount of time ago. We are hearing from President Trump as of right now. He put out this post on Truth Social. We're learning that President Trump called for the firing of the head of the agency that produces the monthly jobs figures after a report showed hiring slowed in July and was much weaker in May and June than previously reported. As you can see on your screen, this is a pretty lengthy post from the president. I do want to read it out to you in full. He says, I was just informed that our country's jobs numbers are being produced by a Biden appointee, Dr. Erica McIntyre, the Commissioner of Labor Statistics, who faked the jobs numbers before the election to try and boost Kamala's chances of victory. This is the same Bureau of Labor Statistics that overstated the jobs growth in March 2024 by approximately 818,000, and then again right before the 2024 presidential election in August and September by 112,000. These were records. No one can be that wrong. We need accurate jobs numbers. I have directed my team to fire this Biden political appointee immediately. She will be replaced with someone much more competent and qualified. Important numbers like this must be fair and accurate. They can't be manipulated for political purposes. McIntyre said there were only 73,000 jobs added, a shock, but more importantly, that a major mistake was made by them. 258,000 jobs downward in the prior 2 months. Similar things happened in the first part of the year, always to the negative. The economy is booming under Trump, despite a Fed that also plays games, this time with interest rates, where they lowered them twice and substantially just before the presidential election, I assume in the hopes of getting Kamala elected. How did that work out? Jerome Too Late Powell should also be put out to pasture. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And we do have that photo there on your screen of McIntyre here. I did want to just share with you a little bit more
and she got fired
about this right now. Friday's jobs report showed that 73,000 jobs were added last month and that 258,000 fewer jobs were created in May and June than previously estimated. The Labor Department's closely watched employment report on Friday today also showed the unemployment rate rose to 4.2% last month as household employment declined. Labor market resilience has shored up the economy ahead headwinds from President Trump's trade and immigration policy. So again, just wanted to pop this up on your screen one last time here from President Trump. We will continue to follow this developing story.
It's going down, baby.
This is the quickest.
It's going down. All over town. Hold on. Let me see what this Smithsonian removes Trump impeachment from. What?
We're learning some new details today after the Smithsonian Institution decided to remove references to President Donald Trump's 2 impeachments from an exhibit on the American presidency. This is the National Museum of American History that we're talking about here in Washington, D.C.
How y'all gonna erase history? They rewriting history, y'all.
Removal from the exhibit. It still includes information about the impeachments of Presidents Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton, and the impeachment process against President Richard Nixon, who resigned from office before he was formally impeached. Let's get the latest from CNN.
How they go remove it as if it never happened?
Executive order back in March that targeted the Smithsonian. Do we know exactly why they took these steps?
Oh, wow.
Well, like a lot of this, do you know exactly why? No, because nobody's going to come out and say we did it because of this, right? What they say is that this is part of a remaking of the exhibit. Their statement was the board, that thing you were just looking at a minute ago, with the two red boxes on the bottom were the
Nasty work. He don't want any signs of failure.
To address current events at the time. However, the label remained in place until July 2025. A large permanent gallery like the American Presidency that opened in 2000 requires significant amount of time and funding to update and renew. A future and updated exhibit will include all impeachments. Okay, so well enough. The question is, how long does that take? Do they get around to that? Will we hear 18 months from now that the new exhibit is open and it features 2 impeachments against Donald Trump? Or will it somehow not happen until his term is over? The White House response to this is, we are fully supportive of updating displays to highlight American greatness. The Trump administration will continue working to ensure that the Smithsonian removes all improper ideology and once again it unites and instills pride in Americans. You know, what's interesting about that, when you say that, is back in March, the executive order he signed really went after this idea of the Smithsonian in particular. You need to not be putting history out there that we consider improper ideology. Well, bear in mind, Donald Trump has said all along his impeachments were frauds, that they were witch hunts, that it was all unfair. So it's easy to see the jump there to say, well, you can't have anything about that because those weren't real. We don't like those.
We don't like
that
those.
openly, except critics of the Trump administration? No, the White House is saying
Whoever thought it was good, especially the African American people who voted for him.
kind of unupdating. I mean, people can say what they wish, but we can also see what we see.
Yeah. So this executive order, when it comes to the Smithsonian, this is just one of the efforts that we've seen from this president, from this administration, to target some institutions that generally a president leaves alone.
Yeah, generally you let the Smithsonian run the Smithsonian. In this case, he's put J.D. Vance in position to have a say over that. He's tried to get the Washington Commanders football team to go back to their previous name of the Redskins, saying, oh, that should absolutely be done. They're talking about renaming part of the Kennedy Center for the Trump family. And of course, the law firms he's gone after, the universities he's gone after. Yeah, this president, more than any president in my lifetime, more than any modern president, is sticking his fingers into a lot of places, including private companies, and saying, you have to do it my way. The question is, will that stick? Will it hold up? And what?
Yeah, this is crazy.
Tom Foreman, appreciate the reporting.
Rewriting history, the Washington Post reports the Smithsonian removed references to President Trump's 2 impeachments from an exhibit. Now, according to the Post, Rewriting history, the Washington Post reports the Smithsonian removed references to President Trump's 2 impeachments. The Washington Post reports the Rewriting history, the Washington Post reports the Smithsonian removed references to President Trump's 2 impeachments from an exhibit. Now, according to the Post, the exhibit notes that only 3 presidents have seriously faced removal, a reference to Andrew Johnson, Bill Clinton, and Richard Nixon. The museum told CNN that a future exhibit will include all impeachments.
He said the what?
Told CNN that a future exhibit will include all impeachments. A future exhibit when the children of America will just have to pretend like the last 10 years never happened. I don't know.
Wow.
It's happening just not in the Smithsonian, stuff happening everywhere, right? Florida is in the middle of doing this. We have to decide as a country, do we think it's better for our kids to be armed with all the best information, the best facts, to be able to tackle a world that they'll...
These kids are already confused. They are really going to be confused. They'll never know the truth.
So they walk into the world without knowing the history they need to know in order to compete.
I say that all the time. Like, how ignorant do we want our children to be? It's like, oh, you learned real facts? Well, I learned Florida facts. So I don't know that slavery existed, or I don't know that Donald Trump was impeached. It's not a way to live as a country. It's certainly not a way to educate our children. But ultimately, I think at the end of the day, this is a White House that's willing to change history, willing to change facts based on the needs and will of the president. Why would you scoff? That's literally what we just read. He asked this Smithsonian. Oh, okay, so your teacher teaches you that 3 presidents were impeached, and you're supposed to go on the internet and say, was my teacher right? Oh, it really was 4. No, that's not how it works, Scott. The White House, I'm
blowing it out of proportion.
Imagine if another president...
He okay with the lies.
Oh, it really was 4. No, that's not how it works, Scott. The White House, I'm blowing it out of proportion. Can you absolutely imagine?
Wow, where are they finding these people? Oh, from jail, from prison. Oh, he makes fun of it. Oh, wow.
History, willing to change facts based on the needs and will of the president. Why would you scoff? That's literally what we just read. He asked this Smithsonian. Oh, okay, so your teacher teaches you that 3 presidents were impeached, and you're supposed to go on the internet and say, was my teacher right? Oh, it really was 4. No, that's not how it works, Scott. The White House, I'm blowing it out of proportion. Can you absolutely imagine if another president...
It's the Smithsonian. I mean, they're going to put it back.
Oh, no, he's changing...
They're going to put it back.
What if he rolled back the clock and they got rid of the Clinton impeachment too? I mean, would you be good with that?
I don't care what they do with the impeachment exhibit. The reality is, whether it's in there or not, if I were Donald Trump, I wouldn't mind it being in there because, like when he hung his mugshot up in the Oval Office, it's like a reminder that he triumphed over his political enemies, right? He had 2 impeachments, he beat them both. So I don't know when they're going to put it back, but I think it's we're blowing a little out of proportion to say we're changing history because they're updating an exhibit at one museum. I mean,
I think it is an outrageous comment.
Can I offer like maybe a common sense proposal to the congressman to my right? I mean, can we please take politics and politicians out of things like the Smithsonian and the Park Service? And, you know, because if this were like a one-off thing, I'd be like, okay, weird, it is really weird, but not a big deal, maybe. But there are other things. I mean, the improper ideology was targeted in the Trump EO. What does that even mean? It targets things like talking about race and maybe the African American History Museum, which is a lot about race and slavery. Transgender and queer erased from the Stonewall Uprising National Monument website by, I guess, the National Park Service. I don't know, just straight up, like, can we just not have things just reflect what actually happened as opposed to what the politician in the White House wants to say happened?
Look, I've always been a big believer about teaching the good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to history.
Right.
You know, obviously, people are going to have different perspectives, different beliefs about what may have happened, but the reality is it should all be covered. It's part of our history, and it's part of who we are as a...
If you don't want it in there, don't do it.
And I think when it comes to museums, I'm generally of the mindset it should all be there. It's kind of like you look at, you know, Baseball Hall of Fame.
Whole history gonna be fake.
Pete Rose or banning Barry Bonds, to me, is not the right way to approach it. Put it all in there. The gambling was part of it. The steroid use was all part of it. And I think that's a better way to approach our history.
All right, I can't wait to see the bill that comes out of this conversation.
Yeah, and who paying for all of this removal and adding back? Oh, yeah, the taxpayers. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This is just crazy. And again, who thought it was a good idea for him to be in office? Again, he did such a he did such a great job. Oh, man, what am I gonna get to where I'm supposed to be? Victims go public. Oh, let me get to where I'm supposed to be, y'all, and that's talking about dumb. Oh, there's been an update on Dolph. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Somebody just lied. They ain't released her from prison. Let's hear about Diddy. I need to listen. This is the new one. Hold on. I wanted to hear the other one. He was dead on. He was dead on about what they said about dumbass Diddy. he thought he thought he would be able to try to blackmail Trump, get him where he wants.
Like also getting the weight loss formula, all those links are in the description box as well. I got some. The only hope that Diddy has now is that he has the hope that Donald J. Trump will go against the guy he picked.
The guy, because the guy he picked. Let me go back to that one. That's the one y'all need to hear first.
Subscribe to Ticket TV today for
in order to understand
daily sports debates, exclusive interviews,
what's going on, because he been hot. Look like, hold on. Shout out to Ticket. U.S. Attorney rejected Diddy bail plea. That was okay. This is the new guy.
Give that nigga 20. He paid nobody.
That was in place to replace
recently appointed
Jay Clayton
as the new guy in charge down there in the Southern District of New York. In the Southern District of New York. Donald J. Trump fired Maureen Comey. And I think that I'm going to tell you what's going on, and then I'm going to tell you what I think.
This is Maureen Comey's replacement, Jay Clayton.
Trump appointed Jay Clayton on the right-hand side of your screen to the SEC back in 2017. So this guy, him and Trump have a close connection. Trump appointed him to the SEC in 2017. And then this year, 2025, Donald J. Trump appointed this guy to the United States District Attorney in the Southern District of New York. If Trump wanted to pardon Diddy, why would he put his man in this position, Jay Clayton?
Can y'all hear me? I need a one if y'all can hear me. This guy ain't playing no guy. No. He ain't playing not one. Can y'all hear me? Give me a one. Please. And when you give me a one, hit the like button if you already haven't. Please. Are y'all able to hear me? Diddy suffers a meltdown. If y'all can't hit in the comment section and not hit a like button, please just go ahead and remove yourself. I mean, how many times? Y'all just not gonna sit over here and just not comment, not hit the like button. Get your ass up out of here. Leave quickly. Let's go. Ooh, his ass is sitting there. All them folk talking about Diddy going home. He on his way out. That's why I didn't comment. Ain't nobody scared of them. Yeah, TMZ, shut up. You and your sources don't know what y'all talking about. Ooh, Diddy sick. He crying in that cell. Whoever on his ass is still on his ass. Either give me a comment, yes, or leave, or hit the like button, or leave. It's just that simple. I'm gonna listen over here. I got enough devices to be brought up to speed. He is redacted from the files. Ooh, Diddy ass is sick. And then he gonna find out that old girl was moved to a better facility.
And have his men come out last night in a scathing report. And not only say that they are pushing for rejection of bail for Sean Diddy Combs because they believe he's a danger to society.
Pushing for what? Pushing for what? Let's hear that one more again.
Southern District of New York. If Trump wanted to pardon Diddy, why would he put his man in this position, Jay Clayton, and have his men come out last night in a scathing report?
Late last night.
And not only say that they are pushing for rejection of bail for Sean Diddy Combs because they believe he's a danger to society and he's a flight risk. Everybody says, why would he be a flight risk if he's only going to do minimal time?
Because he's going to do more than minimum time.
Plan for Diddy.
Facts, I can see that.
They're going for the long ball on Diddy, the government. And it's led by Donald J. Trump's guy, Jay Clayton. Now, for you guys who don't know, once again, I told you this last night. I'll refresh this again in this video for you.
Let's go.
Jay Clayton is the acting U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York since 2025. He is not a registered Democrat or Republican. He has been described as a political independent. During his tenure as SEC chairman from 2017 to 2020, appointed by Donald J. Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's stop right there.
That's right.
Let's stop right there.
If he wanted to help you.
So in 2017, he was appointed as the SEC chairman by Donald Trump.
I told y'all a couple of weeks ago that he said he is on revenge. Anybody that could have helped him, but didn't sit back in the cut, laughed at him, talked about him, had shit to say about him. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's on and popping. He said it. Diddy is so extra. Oh well, yeah. See that blackmailing stuff? I don't know what he thought, but what they taught him, cause again, Diddy repeats a lot of Epstein's and a lot of Donald Trump and the movement. So I said, I believe that Diddy went to the school of Epstein, them, cause he mimics them. They don't mimic him. Everything he do, he got it from them with a little twist. Cause it looked like, you know, they didn't have the voyeurism. No, cause they like women. Diddy don't like women. He used front women. He gets turned on by the dang-a-lang. See the difference? So none of these predators are about pimping in the regular form. Theirs is, as we learned last night, the mind manipulation. What was that MK Ultra, where they play with the people's, brainwash them? So they're more into the brainwashing aspect of it. Manipulating the mind, making folk do what they want them to do. And it don't matter what you see me do. Y'all are so damn brainwashed that y'all gonna go along with whatever I go along with. And I'm gonna play in your face. And you gonna go along with it. Yeah. That's exactly what Cassie and Jane and even the male hookers that he allowed Diddy to change them in from dancing to on. Okay? So although we only tapped into it last night, it was enough for me to understand the connection of it. Especially since a Bill Barr daddy was over it. The headmaster. Okay? And the same Barr family who brought Epstein in allowed him to be a project at that Dalton school and kept him protected, that he was protected. He's with the intelligence department. That's why he was not, he was prosecuted, but he was, what was it? He had that special condition that allowed him to move freely, go to work in suit and tie, picked up by limos. Yeah, because he was a part of them. And then Bill Barr was the AG up under Donald Trump's watch the first time, who was responsible for the federal prison system, where Epstein was either moved or taken out. See the circle? Okay.
Donald Trump fired Maureen Comey a couple weeks ago. She was the one that was helping lead up on the Diddy trial, where everybody was so upset and said, man, she didn't do her job, this, that, and the third. And everybody thought when Trump fired her, it was because he was clearing the path to pardon Diddy. That does not look like that's the case.
Not so fast.
Because Jay Clayton was appointed as the acting U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York by none other than your president, Donald J.
Insurance companies don't want you to
He's
know
been
this.
replaced, baby.
Homeowners, if your insurance rates
You
keep
talk
going
that
up like mine,
noise. Oh yeah.
Trump. That does not look like that's the case. Because Jay Clayton was appointed as the acting U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York by none other than your president, Donald J. Trump. Let me clear this up for people who didn't understand what I said last night. The man right now that just wrote that scathing writing last night that nailed Diddy's ass to the wall was just recently appointed as the new guy in charge down there in the Southern District of New York by Donald Trump. If Donald Trump did not want Diddy doing harsh prison time, if he did not want this guy going in on Diddy and people, why would he put this guy in control of the Southern District of New York?
Mm-hmm.
I have my thoughts, and I'm going to tell you guys right now. I don't think Trump likes Diddy at all. I think Trump said that because I think Trump just said something to put it out there in the public, like, I'll look at it, just that and the third.
Just to stir
I
up
think
some
Trump
stuff.
despises Diddy for what he said, and he saw that Diddy try to destroy him. I believe that Donald J. Trump, by appointing Jay Clayton, does a few things. First thing I think it does is it gets somebody he appointed to see all the evidence,
all of it,
that was not included in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. See, people can think one thing, and I'm going to tell you guys something. When I come on the internet and I say information, I put paperwork, real paperwork out here for y'all to read this stuff, right? I go into case filings, I actually do my diligence, read the paperwork, and I'll put the screenshots on the screen and give you guys places where y'all can go actually look up the paperwork, because it's public information. See, Roger Bonds, who was Diddy's bodyguard for a while, went on DJ Vladimir's YouTube channel.
Let's go.
It said that Diddy and Donald Trump used to have meetings, long meetings, where him and Donald Trump's security would sit outside waiting for them to. They'd be in there alone having long meetings.
So, bringing him up to speed, teaching
it
him,
was
molding.
also in the trial numerous occasions that Diddy was having these freak offs, a lot of them in the Trump hotel. Well, when Maureen Comey was running the United States District, since Damian Williams, who was appointed, all these people were appointed by Democrats. Maureen Comey was appointed by Democrat, right? I told everybody in this channel, there was a lot of evidence, video,
absolutely,
files, footage
that we didn't see,
that was left out of this case.
Yeah.
But the one thing that kept coming up,
but the judge said that he would have to look over all of that.
Diddy's having these freak offs in those hotels. Well, Donald J. Trump, in my opinion, what would be the best way for him to find out all the information that was left out of this case? I have my own man that I appointed that has access to look at all those files.
There you go.
All those videos that was confiscated.
So the same thing, hold on. So the same thing that he did to Ghislaine, you know, cause to see what she got, what she gonna say, give me something. They gave up 100 people's names other than his, right? Let's see what she got. See how big of trouble I'm in, how I can play with it, how I can wiggle out. And so let's go and look over it and see what's been said that we don't know, that was omitted, but still very crucial in other cases. Because I told y'all Miami is coming. Miami really wasn't tapped into. The gun use wasn't tapped into. What else? It was some other stuff that just really the drug part, the gun part, the kids, the celebrities, all that's coming. Yeah. Yeah. So now he has had the opportunity to go through it all and see it all. But let's hear what he's saying. And the judge knows that. So that's why they were saying whether he was found guilty of it or not, the judge know what he suppressed or what was removed, what he allowed, what was objected to. He know all of that. And all of that will be factored into the judge's ruling in October.
Confiscated? No, they only gave you a piece in court.
Mm-hmm.
See, everybody says, oh, these was lies, they were celebrities and stuff.
Oh, it's coming.
Jay Clayton, who was assigned as the new U.S. District Attorney in the Southern District of New York,
it was
by
coming.
Donald J. Trump, now has access to all of that information that was not presented in court, that had connected to this file. He has access to every single file, every single video, and everything because he has been appointed to run this thing by Donald J. Trump. He can see everything, even things that were not presented. This is horrific news for Sean Diddy Combs.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Ticket.
Because a lot of things were left out of this trial. They were in the pre-trial paperwork. They were redacted. They were left out. Last night, in the last hour, in this filing by the United States Department of Justice, DOJ, Donald Trump's DOJ, not only have they demanded that Sean Diddy Combs not be released, but Donald Trump's DOJ and Donald Trump's
despite what?
new attorney.
New attorney. What does Harvey Levin and the grumpy old white men gotta say now? Hello? That was July the 31st. What Harvey and the grumpy old white man gotta say now? Ain't that the name of their podcast? So won't nobody come saying AunTeaFee, that's the name of their podcast. Two grumpy white men. Grumpy old, yeah, somebody said, ooh, yes indeed. Yes indeed. He threw, boy, that was a hard ball he threw at Diddy, wasn't it? Despite the court's clear ruling that the defendant must be detained pending sentencing following his conviction of 2 felony counts, the defendant moved again for bail. As the court correctly found, after written or oral submission, this stuff is light. I can't read it. Yeah, I found out over the weekend I may need some glasses for the first time. Oh my God. They said that the sentencing is mandatory. There are no exceptional circumstances justifying his release. It says, and even if there was, the defendant cannot demonstrate by clear and convincing evidence that he is no longer a danger to the community. You lying to me? I was able to read that one pretty good, wasn't I? He says sentencing is mandatory. There is no exception, circumstances justifying his release. And even if there were, the defendant cannot demonstrate a clear and convincing evidence that he is no longer a danger to the community. What did you say to me? Further, following the court's ambiguous ruling, the defendant now seeks relief without even attempting to demonstrate a reason for reconsideration. Baby boom, pow, pow, pow. Did they not just shoot him down? Hello. Hello. Hello, hello. Caller, are you there? That was not a pow, pow. That was a...
There's a better way to get
They sprayed that ass down, didn't they?
Without having to go to court.
Sprayed that ass down.
Because a lot of things were left out.
They put a switch on it. Oh my God.
The pre-trial paperwork, they were redacted. They were left out.
They put a switch on it.
In the last hour. In this filing.
Oh baby, what?
By the United States.
They sprayed him down.
Department of Justice. The DOJ. Donald Trump's DOJ. Not only have they demanded that Sean Diddy Combs not
Daryl, a Darrell, we're pressure. Pressure!
And Donald Trump, new attorney.
They just sprayed that ass down, didn't they?
United States attorney in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah.
Last night, in the last hour.
What?
States that they want to reject Diddy's bail. He's a flight risk. And that they are seeking significant higher sentences than what they originally thought would be around 5 years and 3 weeks.
Baby.
This was signed by Donald Trump's guy last night. Donald Trump is not a stupid man.
Threaten me again.
I have to say, man, having your own guy appointed that's overlooking this Diddy case with all these files that wasn't even put in.
Oh, he handled him worse than Comey.
Respectfully submitted, Jay Clayton.
Pressure, where you at? Harvey Levin and the other guy, where y'all at?
Every single thing that you and I and everybody else didn't see in that Diddy trial that was not presented. Video evidence, text message evidence, evidence pertaining to Diddy's life. Remember, Diddy's lawyers complained that they confiscated everything.
Head tilted.
The judge, Judge Summarian, omitted a lot of evidence pre-trial because Diddy had good lawyers. And his lawyers got some stuff, a lot of it, I should say, X'd out because Diddy wasn't being directly charged with that during this case. That's why they kept saying he's not being charged with domestic violence. Diddy wasn't charged with domestic violence. Diddy wasn't charged with those guns with the fake serial numbers. What
facts?
Security company would have guns that have to be defaced. That's illegal. No legal contracted security company will go through that type of risk.
You ain't going nowhere.
Right? And once again, Donald Trump's hotels were brought up in these freak-offs multiple times during this trial.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
Now, Maureen Comey, she gets fired.
She was trying to give your ass a break because she knew she was finna get you again.
Overseeing this case last night. Not only now does he have access to every single file that was not put in this case, he has access to all the videos.
And he was planning another freak out when he thought he was getting out the 4th of July
now
weekend.
He knows.
Oh, he's sick, y'all.
The feds have confiscated.
He's sick as a dog. Oh, I know he's sick.
He knows how deep the feds' investigation was into Donald J. Trump.
Facts.
Donald J. Trump.
Yep.
In my humble opinion.
And guess what? Let us not forget. Holla, holla, holla. Holla, holla, holla. Holla, 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 holla. Let us not forget, Jonathan Adi, who shot up Mar-a-Lago, the spot where these kids were taken from, right? Now we know that where Jonathan Adi was shooting up, bang, bang, shooting them up, bringing up Trump, bringing up CIA, MIA, BBA, all of that. Hell, was he one of them Project Kids? What was he one of them, what is it, MK Ultra Kids? Is that what was wrong with Adi? Did he go back to where they play with his mind? Did he go back to where he was tampered with as a kid? Huh? He went back to the Trump Tower, Mar-a-Lago, and shot it up, shot it down, and got into a whole big old shootout with the po-po. Huh? What's the girl? Cassie confirmed that Jonathan Adi was one of the ones. And he said he was a slave for Diddy. Huh? Yeah. Let us not forget. So Trump is in Diddy's paperwork. If not for Trump Towers, Plaza, we know for sure Mar-a-Lago is in it. We were trying to figure out why Adi wasn't on the stand. Now I have a clear picture that Adi was going to be a part of Florida. Because I tried to tell y'all Florida was coming. Didn't I tell y'all? And Florida would have included Diddy, Trump, Maxwell, and Epstein. Oh, Lord. Hello. Yeah. Let's keep listening.
Trump ever had a thought of giving Diddy a pardon. I don't think he ever had that thought.
No, he just needs to know what
Trump wanted to pardon. Tell Jay Clayton, look, fall back and let him get a little pat on the thing.
Let the church say amen.
Jay Clayton in his writing yesterday, which I'm going to present to you today, and this is the thing people are forgetting about, and let me say this. Let me say this, because it needs to be said. People have been running around saying, oh man, you know, Diddy gonna get a slap on the wrist, said the third. Blah, 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 he gonna get out. The man Donald Trump just appointed said nothing.
No, 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 no.
We gonna hit Sean Diddy Combs.
He gonna be the example. He gonna be the scapegoat.
And everybody says,
He gonna be, yeah, I remember I kept saying, somebody done gave them the green light on Diddy. Somebody said he done exposed us all. He done put the heat on what we got going on. Let his ass go to prison. At the last minute, at the very last minute, when they put that, what's that, people up in there to switch it up. And then the next day they came back and said, oh, we got it. We agree now. Huh? Out of nowhere. They all started praising the Lord. Screaming, hollering, hallelujah. Yes, yes, all excited that they lifted the ban off Diddy. But your smart ass mouth. Yeah, you started talking that shit again. You started pulling the Ira Kelly. Oh, they working with her. What list? Y'all remember the eyeballs came out? I told y'all it was about Maxwell did not teach sippers. It was about Maxwell. Then we start doing motions, moving. They gonna help her before they help me. I got some dirt on him. This is the good time for me to let him know that if he don't help me, I got dirt on him just like she do. And he said, you trifling bigger. Stick it to him. Stick it to him. Let's go.
oh, well, the judge has to go by guideline sentencing. I told you, United States District Judges.
Are you researching dental implants?
Oh.
There's a lot of dental offices that'll talk about doing their
stick it to him hard.
Process. A lot of times what they
having extreme power. He gonna get out. The man Donald Trump just appointed said, no, that's not the case. We gonna hit Sean Diddy Combs
hard
with the whole meal. He's facing up to 20 years. And everybody says, oh, well, the judge has to go by guideline sentencing. I told you.
Judge don't have to do nothing.
District judges having extreme power. As you can read on your screen,
hold on.
Judge Armed Submarinian has the authority to impose the maximum sentence. This is why I told all of these buffoons that come arguing with me, know your role and shut your mouth. It's all on the judge.
Yep.
The judge
and he really tries to be fair.
To impose,
but he knows that it's a whole organization.
For Sean Diddy Combs, who was convicted on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution in his 2025 federal trial. Each count carries a statutory maximum of 10 years in prison, meaning Diddy could face up to 20 years if the sentences are imposed consecutively.
Ain't going nowhere.
Now here's the catch.
He ain't going nowhere.
But they also didn't think that Diddy would get his bail rejected after he was found not guilty of the 2 charges that he was facing that had life sentences attached to them. But let's keep going for shits and giggles. As you guys can read it on your screen. The judge's discretion. And this is the part of the law that I just don't come to YouTube running my mouth. I actually call the paper. Judge Submarine has wide latitude. And this is what happened. I'll show you all the paperwork because I'm breaking it down. Because I had so many people come at me overnight asking me. They was confused. Judge Armed Submarine has wide latitude. Breaking up, hold on. I'll get you right. Breaking up, hold on, y'all. Get it right. This ain't nothing. Y'all hold on. We get it right back. Smash your like button. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing on a string from Burger King, baby. There we go right there. Judge Armed Submarine has wide latitude to consider factors beyond the guidelines. Let me repeat that first line again. Because, see, some people have to understand how to read paperwork and understand how to understand
10%
the law.
battery.
I don't just come on YouTube just saying stuff, man. Study to show that.
I need 20 likes if y'all want me to hold this phone, because I'm out of juice.
Has wide latitude to consider factors beyond
the recommended
guidelines. Everybody keeps saying, oh man, all you gotta do is go by the guidelines. No, he don't. He can give Diddy 20 years if he wants.
Oh, he sure can.
And this was
it's just a recommendation from the defense. It's not a requirement.
Judge Submarinian.
They know that we don't know everything.
To consider factors beyond sentencing guidelines. Now people say he ain't gonna do it, so you didn't know. Your ass better call somebody. He rejected his bail when everybody thought he was gonna get bail after he got found out guilty.
True that.
They all said Diddy was going home, and that nigga went right to jail.
Do not go.
He didn't hold Diddy in there to let him walk. Now.
So.
Judge Submarinian has wide latitude to consider factors beyond the guidelines.
He moved. Oh, girl. The Diddy standing there. No protection for Diddy. So who after him gonna get him?
Presented at the trial.
Whatever threat on Diddy is still there.
About abuse. While he could impose the full 20 years by considering, he could still consider acquitted conduct. See, this is what happens when you got a bunch of niggas that don't know the law and run around here talking about somebody capping. Them niggas ain't read the paperwork, nigga. You always got to read the fine print when you come around taking.
Oh, they thought that Donald Trump was protecting him. He done sent them men in there.
That way you know I'm not hating. I'm just giving you the facts. All these legal minds are saying, "Oh man, ain't no way he's gonna give him 20, man."
And he still may not. But this new guy he got in there now saying, "Give it to him."
He was not gonna get put back in jail after he got acquitted. They said, "Oh."
Diddy tried to send a kite to Trump.
And that night, all the legal minds was on social media saying, "Oh yeah, Diddy finna go home today. He going home today."
Listen, y'all. Since y'all ain't getting my lights up, let me say this, cause
bail denied.
I'm not. I am not finna hold this phone if y'all can't get my lights up. I'm gonna tell you that now. So let me say this before it go out. Whatever kite did it try to send to Trump, I'm gonna make an assumption that he got it. He got the word that Diddy say he got some dirt on you. You better be worried about the videos I have instead of worried about that file or that list. Look at her, mother. You dirty on face, mother. You better spend some time trying to get me up out of here. For I make a phone call on you. Hello. That was the kite Diddy as predator number 1 sent to Don Dirty Draws Trump predator number 2. You worried about the wrong thing. You need to be worried about me. Trump said, oh, okay. Somebody go get them files. Go get that paperwork and see what we working with. Hey, Ella, I love that red star by your name. They quietly sent old boy over there to check out to see what Diddy was talking about. Right? And now they saying he ain't learned no lesson. Don't let him out. And instead of what Comey was trying to negotiate, cause she was finna tag that ass on Florida, we're gonna go ahead and ask for a tougher sentence right now. Oh, Lord. We gonna go and put it on out there now. Let this nigga know we ain't playing with him. He may run Cassie, but the motherfucker don't run shit over here. That's what's happening, y'all. He got that kite. He saw his name up in there. And he said, who does this? He must think I'm Shannon Sharp. All these motherfuckers trying to come out at the same time. Who in the fuck does he think he is? You ain't got no weight behind them bars. You ain't got enough evidence on me, like Maxwell. Yeah. That's what they saying. That's the gist of it. So what I could have done for you, I'ma do it for her. But when these people gotta say, I know they don't want me to, but that's what I'm gonna do. Cause you tried to play in my face. Sean P. Diddy Combs. Don't you know you still a nigga? Huh? Don't you know you still a nigga? Huh? And I know you know I don't like none of y'all, no way. Oh, you gonna learn today? You gonna learn today. Okay.
Because see, some people have to understand how to read paperwork and have to understand the law. I don't just come on YouTube just saying stuff, man.
Y'all gonna learn today.
To show thyself approved.
Or did I move? Y'all gonna learn today.
Hidden factors beyond the guidelines. Let me repeat that first line again.
Where that thing?
Because, see, some people have to understand how to read paperwork.
They gonna learn the hard way.
They have to understand the law. I don't just come on YouTube just saying stuff.
Oh, right there.
Study to show thyself
Self-approved.
Judge Armed Submarinian has wide latitude to consider factors beyond the sentencing guidelines.
And now they are requesting tougher.
Oh, man, all you gotta do is go by the guidelines. No, he don't.
Yeah, he done pissed off somebody.
He can give 20 years if he wants.
Absolutely. And he don't have to tell nobody why.
And this was presented in the filing last night. He can give Diddy up to 20 years.
Without explanation.
Judge Submarinian has wide latitude to consider factors beyond sentencing guidelines. And people say he ain't gonna do it. So you didn't know. Your ass better call somebody.
Oh, yeah. They talking about he was sent a warning where
he rejected his bail when everybody thought he was going to get bail after he got found not guilty. They all said Diddy was going home, and that nigga went right to jail.
Do not pass go.
Diddy in there to let him walk. Now.
Can y'all still hear me? Oh, there you go.
Judge Submarinian has wide latitude to consider factors beyond the guidelines, such as Diddy's character.
Oh, he out of here.
The nature of the offenses.
And he threatened. Oh, yeah, he out of here.
Of violence presented at the trial, e.g., testimony from Cassie and Jane about abuse. While he could impose the full 20 years by considering, he could still consider acquitted conduct. See, this is what happens when you got a bunch of niggas that don't know the law and run around here talking about somebody capping. Them niggas ain't read the paperwork, nigga. You always got to read the fine print when you come around a ticket.
Yeah. So he done uploaded since then. Let me see what he's saying now.
Netflix and Apple.
Oh yeah, he out of here. Yeah. Okay, so what you post since then? Let me see that I ain't. What you done said since then? What done came as that was this one. Let's see this one. Let's listen.
The U.S. Attorney's Office, right? And Jay, what's that guy's name? Jay something. Let me see. Yeah, Jay Clayton.
Mm-hmm.
He has the hope that Jay Clayton, they have to hope that Donald Trump goes against his own guy, Jay Clayton, which I don't see happening. So Diddy had another bond request rejected. And let me give you guys basically the report, right? So basically, Sean Diddy Combs made a renewed request this week, proposing a $50 million bond, but it was again denied. Now, his prosecutors opposed the request in Manhattan federal court, filing on July the 31st, 2025, last night, arguing that Diddy could face a substantially higher prison sentence than they initially estimated, right? 4 to 5 years for his 2 prostitution convicted convictions. They cited an extensive history of violence, an inability to prove he no longer poses a danger to the community, noting the Bail Reform Act mandates detention unless exceptional circumstances are shown, which Diddy failed to demonstrate.
Mm-hmm.
The judge's decision
He's still feeling entitled.
Prior denials, emphasizing Diddy's propensity for violence and lack of trustworthiness under supervision. He remains at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn and is awaiting his sentencing on October the 3rd, 2025.
So he still think he running stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, Diddy has had his bail denied again.
Again.
And now he is awaiting the sentencing, and now he got a surprise last night because now
they want more time.
Stated they can use not only past history, but they can use other things that wasn't even convicted. The judge can use that in against Diddy's sentencing to add much more time. The judge can give Diddy 20 years if he wants. If Diddy gets 20 years, he's done. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. He's not gonna win appeals because the judge was very smart. Everybody was saying, why did the judge let all this stuff out of court? Why didn't he keep all this stuff? The judge was smart. The judge, now that I think about it, everything the judge did was to combat Diddy being able to appeal. Everything he did. So that's why the judge left a lot of stuff out, had a lot of rulings in Diddy's favor, kind of called it down the line. That way, the judge could avoid any situation, even with the jurors in situation. He could avoid any appeal, conviction, or anything that his time getting overturned. So the judge played this very, very smart. The fact that they rejected his bond, the judge finna hit this nigga with the meal, bro. You not listen. Let me tell y'all something, man. Don't play me stupid, bro. If the judge
he ain't going nowhere.
Just walk on October the 3rd, he's not gonna keep denying his bond, bro. He ain't gonna do that, bro. If Diddy was gonna walk, they'd let his ass walk out here today. He'd have been on some type of probation. You know what I'm saying? And he would have been
ankle monitor
till he got his sentencing. Then he would have got some type of probation when he got his sentencing. See what I'm saying? So, bro, and like I said, the government said they're going for a lot more time than 5 years. A lot more time. So, apparently, I think the judge is going to use all those letters that was written against Diddy. I also think that the judge is going to use...
Yeah, mouthpiece with your... Oh, shit. Oh, yeah.
We saw in the legal work. Because remember, the judge saw a lot of stuff that was kept out. I kept telling y'all that. That was in the pre-trial paperwork. Now, Diddy's lawyers got a lot of that stuff struck out of the trial. That helped Diddy not get convicted on the
but it don't have nothing to do with his sentencing.
Right? But the judge saw that. That's the
absolutely. All of that has to be considered.
And then remember, when he denied Diddy bail, the day Diddy got his acquittal,
he went back to what he had previously saw.
The judge says, bro, you was just in the batters program, and I made sure the jury didn't hear that. That wasn't even, he told Diddy's lawyer that when Diddy's lawyer was up there crying. Diddy's lawyers know he getting ready to get hit with the sonic boom. I told you guys, man. Yo, they hit this nigga, bro, they denied this nigga bond again, nigga. Didn't I tell y'all this? If they denied his bond again, what was gonna happen?
Shout out to Judge.
So Diddy's bail has been denied.
I ain't gonna say his, I was gonna say some summarize. His name is Aaron. Because he concerned about the victims.
Diddy between now, sentencing, or any time. But if he was gonna do it, he would have already did it.
He wouldn't have sent that guy.
This is the hearing aid secret your insurance company doesn't want you to know about. You've seen those hearing aid prices, right? $4,000.
But if he was going to
do it, he threatened.
Did it.
He put his foot in his mouth.
He would have already did it. But I don't see Trump doing this because he put his own guy to go handle this situation with Diddy. And everybody who keeps saying, "Oh, he didn't do it," yes, he did. Diddy was, y'all got to remember, Diddy was indicted last year. This guy was appointed, Jay Clayton was appointed in April of 2025. So Trump was already planning.
That was before his trial started, wasn't it?
They were in the middle of the case, so they just waited till the case was over with to get Comey out of there.
Oh, okay.
They waited to the conviction to get her out of there. Then you had this stuff with Epstein coming up too. Get her ass out of there. Put my own people in there. And what do y'all think that Trump's own people do? Check all those, because remember, I told y'all got to pay attention to the details in the case. In the case, Diddy was having a lot of freak offs at the Trump hotels. So who do you think will want to know?
And Jonathan Adi. Don't forget about Adi.
Investigated or what wasn't released. So what does Trump do? He can find out everything that was said behind the scenes, everything that was said but wasn't brought out in court, because he has his own man on the inside, and Jay Clayton, that he appointed, that's now running things since Maureen Comey's out of there. So you never know what they saw or what videos that wasn't kept in the case, because there's a lot of stuff that wasn't kept in this case.
Y'all, I keep trying to tell y'all that Miami, Florida was coming. The islands was coming. So now he has access to all of what was coming. Yeah. He moved Ghislaine Maxwell. And now you finna take the blame. You finna eat all the shit from all the predators. Yeah, you. You forgot what color your skin is. You forgot. Do I need to say it for you one more time? Huh? You, little brown boy. Yeah. You was as good as you was when the things was good for them. Now the heat is on for them and you still think you running shit? No, you are the sacrifice. Your ass will sit because now he's asking for more than what Comey was asking for. Not for. They, him, just showed you who running this shit. Nope. That's what he doing to you. Yeah, he said, we know we all like to take it. But you finna take it this time. Take that, take that. Bad boy for life. Life? I play too much, y'all. Take that, take that. Take that, take that. Yeah, you're going to have to give it up. You're going to have to get bent over backwards. You're going to take it for the team. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it, Diddy. You talk that shit. You betrayed me. You thought I wasn't going to remind you. I don't give a shit what you got. Nick.
The part I keep explaining to people. All you got to do is read the free trial paperwork and you will know a lot of evidence, a lot of stuff was kept out of this case. It wasn't even talked about or seen in the trial. So people say, oh, all that stuff isn't true and happened. That doesn't mean that. That just means that the judge, Diddy had good lawyers that struck out a lot of that evidence before it, so it didn't make it to the trial. That doesn't mean it wasn't in evidence. The judge seen it.
Absolutely.
Right? The judge seen it. Diddy will not win an appeal.
I need 20 likes, y'all. Real quick, fast. Double tap your screen. All right, hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up or double tap your screen. Okay, bye.